Hey, what's up everyone? We're looking at the Tuesday slate. In this video, we got 4 games to talk about, so let's get started. You can drop a like down below before we get into it and subscribe if you have not already. So starting off here at point guard, so like I said, it's a 4-game slate. Even though it's a short slate, there are plenty of superstars to choose from on the slate. You have Harden, Lillard, LeBron James, Davis, Giannis, Jokic, just so many superstars on the slate today. It's going to be a fun one, even though it's only 4 games. But right now, it's looking like Harden is going to be the best spend up on the slate with Russell Westbrook doubtful and Clint Capella out. We know what kind of rates Harden has when those two are off the court, especially even if just Westbrook's off the court, his numbers are through the roof. He is an extremely streaky player, and lately his shot's been falling, so I definitely don't want to fade him against the Hornets at only 12,000 without Westbrook and without Clint Capella. This could be a spot where Harden goes for 80, 90 fantasy points. Other guys I'm looking at here at point guard are, I think Lillard's been crushing it, but this is a spot where I probably don't have a ton of interest just because Harden is 12,000. It's tough to get to both him and Harden. Also, the Nuggets are one of the better defenses at stopping like a guy like Lillard. They stopped Harden a lot this year in the meetings. They just double team and make life difficult for the leading scorer. Obviously, Lillard's just been on a mission right now that he can just, if his shot's falling, he can shoot from the logo, so there's not much you can do. But I think it's just a spot where if he's going to get any type of ownership, any type of substantial ownership, I won't be that interested just because there's a lot of ways to go on the slate. And some more value, you got like LeBron as terms of value as a superstar. He's only 10-1. That's a cheap price point for LeBron. Just been playing fine all year. He's been consistent, and it's a good matchup against the Spurs. If I had to go cheap at this position, it would be for Will Barton if Jamal Murray's out again, and it would be for CJ McCollum at 63. I kind of prefer McCollum's price tag to Lillard, even though how well Lillard's been playing. I think McCollum is going to have a big game eventually. But right now, it's going to be James Harden just because of all the things I've mentioned. Over at shooting guard, I'm not really interested in DeRozan at 7-7. I think Holiday looks fine at 69. That is going to be one of the better fantasy games. Milwaukee and against Pelicans. The Pelicans do have a lot of bodies, though, so it's always tough when they're all healthy. But it's the type of spot where it's going to be a fast-paced game that most of the players should be able to make value, especially with their prices on Draftkings. But really, I loved CJ McCollum at 63. Don't mind Rozier either at 64. And then for value at this position, it's going to be Ben McLemore's looking like my favorite value play as of now. But CJ McCollum at just 6,300, he's at the price point where just point per dollar wise, I kind of prefer him to Damian. He has been fine all year. His shots been fine as of late. It's not been super consistent in terms of scoring, but the shots are always there for him. And he does get a lot of usage, even though he has not been racking up peripherals that much. But I still think he's fine. Easily has 40-point upside at a $6,300 price tag is something we like to see, especially if the Nuggets are going to be intent on stopping Damian Lillard. Then if they double team him, McCollum should have open looks pretty much all night. At small forward, I like Chris Middleton quite a bit at 7,300. Probably want to get at least a piece of this game. He's been crushing it as of late, playing pretty heavy minutes compared to some of the other guys on the team, especially like Giannis. We haven't seen play like 36, 37 minutes very often. Middleton has been so good as of late. His shot is just on point every single night. He's so consistent, shooting 44% from deep, 50+% from the floor. Just a really good underrated player that nobody really talks about in like the on the major networks. Middleton is a star. And Ingram looks fine too at 7,000. It's a cheap price point for Ingram. And like I said, for value, maybe take a shot on Kyle Kuzma. It's only 4,000. But right now, I like Middleton, just 7,300. It's a great matchup, good price tag. At power forward, Giannis been crushing it. He's at 11-4. Just missed a triple-double in both games by 1 assist. He's fine here if he can get to him. It's just we're going to need some value to pay up for Giannis and James Harden. I hope we get some value because they both look appealing. And then you also got to make a decision. Like Davis is just at 9,300. So that's a really cheap price tag for Davis as well. It's a fine matchup against the Spurs. Only took 9 shots against the Kings, which was surprising. But at this price point, we know Davis has monster upside too. So there's quite a bit of superstars to choose from. And then DraftKings just threw us a bone with a $6,200 LaMarcus Aldridge. That is a price point where I am just like can't fade, at least for me, just because I know the type of player Aldridge is. I know the upside that he has. It's a tough matchup against the Lakers, but anytime Aldridge is 6,200, he's like, this shouldn't be this cheap. He should be at least in the 7K range. He's averaging 37 fantasy points, so basically averaging 6x. And I just think he's just too cheap. At center, there's another guy that I like quite a bit. At the top, Jokic looks fine here. If you want to get Jokic or Whiteside, I kind of like Whiteside more than Jokic, just as a point per dollar play at just 8,500. Whiteside looks fine. But really, I'm really looking at like Jeremy Grant at just 5,700, mainly because Millsap is out, as well as Michael Porter. So we're going to see a ton of minutes for Jeremy Grant tonight. Pencil him in for well over 35 minutes, as long as he's not in foul trouble and the game is close. He played 40 minutes in regulation against the Pistons with all the injuries to Michael Porter and Millsap. So he's in line, and they still have Mason Plumlee out. So just the minutes that he's going to play at 5,700 is just super appealing. And then at guard is going to be Ben McLemore for me for a value play. He's just 3,400. Should see like 30-plus minutes tonight with all the injuries. He's really scoring dependent, but he's at a price point where I don't mind it. You get those extra points for 3 points made. He's a good shooter. It's a good matchup. Any type of peripherals that he does run into, we'll have a better chance of getting them without Westbrook there trying to get all the rebounds. So 34 for Ben McLemore is going to be a spot where I go to as well. Over on FanDuel here at point guard, it's like Bledsoe looks great, 6,300. Rozier looks fine at 6,200. And then I like DeJounte Murray. 56 is a nice price point for Murray. And if you want to take a shot if Rivers is in and he's starting, I don't expect that, but if he's starting, I mean, there's a chance he can be in, but I think he'll come off the bench. But if he somehow is in the starting lineup, he's fine at 4,000. And Morris's status will be dependent on Jamal Murray. If Murray's in, then no interest. If Murray's out, then he would be a fine option. But right now, I'm thinking about DeJounte Murray at just 5,600. Coming off of a tough matchup against the Clippers. It's not an easy matchup again against the Lakers, but the minutes are pretty steady for him, like 24 to 27. Occasionally can get you around 30. At this position, there's just not a ton to go to right now. Just if you're not going to be paying up, there's not a ton in the mid-range right now. I think Murray's not going to get a lot of ownership, but he definitely has a ton of upside just with the steals that he can, if he has an outlier game in steals. Not even an outlier because he's been known to get steals in a lot of the games. At shooting guard, it's Harden. You play Harden at 11.6 on FanDuel. Just play him. If other guys I'm looking at are Chris Middleton again at 72, McCollum at 6,900. I'm kind of done with Devontae Graham right now. He's just not playing well. And for value at this position, it's Ben McLemore, and it's probably going to be it's really Ben McLemore is going to be the best value right now. At shooting guard, small forward, Giannis looks so good at 11.5. He is, on FanDuel, it's easier to pay up for both him and James Harden. I think there's a decent chance I want to do something like that. But both of them are looking really good tonight if you can get up there. But you also have more value right here, like House is 51. He looks fine. Just going to get a lot of minutes tonight. Bridges, if Washington's out, has been playing pretty well. Carmelo's only 56. Will Barnes only 62. So it's not a necessity to pay up at this position. You do have some other options. I kind of like House right now at just 51. He's probably going to see like 35, 36 minutes tonight just with the lack of bodies on the team. He's been a pretty good producer, and without Capella, he's seen his rebounds go up a lot. So definitely a lot more fun to play than a guy like PJ Tucker, who literally played 38 minutes, got 0 points and 9 rebounds and 1 steal. That is just that's the type of game you're going to get when you play PJ Tucker a lot of the time. Over at power forward, it's also a spot where I like to pay kind of down. I think Aldridge is really good at 6,900, looks pretty fine. Jeremy Grant at 61, just with the minutes that he's going to play tonight, it's tough for me not to pass up. He has a 40-point upside here, and I don't know if he's going to be like super popular. Maybe he'll be a little bit more popular on FanDuel, but just I feel pretty good about him here. Anytime you get a guy matched up against Carmelo Anthony, that guy has been pretty productive this year. Anthony's not a good defender at all, so I'm definitely looking at Jeremy Grant. And the center on FanDuel is a little tricky just because there's not a lot of options here. You got the 2 stars at the top, and then you could maybe play Zeller if you want, but it's also a spot where this game could kind of go small here since the Rockets do start Tucker. So I don't know. And that will kind of only be dependent if Washington is out. If Washington's in, I don't know if I want to get there. Maybe it's a spot where you just take a shot and punt with a $4,000 JaVale McGee and hope that he has a good game in blocks. But right now, I think Whiteside is fine here at 9,100. It's just, I just think that he's been really consistent all year as a fantasy player, just with the minutes that he's getting. In tough matchups, he's still been productive. 52 against Utah, 69 against the Lakers, 55 against Indiana, 60 against, well, that's not a tough matchup, but he's been productive even if tough matchups as of late. And it's a spot where the 2 games that he's played the Nuggets this year, he's played very well. So I feel fine about paying for Whiteside. There is a pretty big opportunity cost from taking a shot with like a McGee and then not paying up for one of these 2. So I'll probably try to pay up for one of the 2 and then try to go with some value plays at some other positions. But that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I will update you guys on Twitter if things change. You can check out the website if you want to get on board, and links in description. And good luck tonight.